Hello, I'm Julian Edgar from Communication Know-How, and in today's writing tips I'd like to talk about writing persuasive documents. Now, a lot of the time when we're writing at work, and that might be in business or it might be in government, we're writing documents that seek to persuade our reader. It might be to seek to persuade our reader to adopt a new process. It might be to seek to persuade our reader to buy a product that we're offering, to accept our tender bid. But in many cases we are writing persuasive documents, and if we are, a certain strategy that we can take will be very effective in making those documents work better for our audience. The first idea to keep in mind is that a persuasive document always puts forward a proposition. A proposition is what we want our readers to do. Now, you can write propositions in all sorts of different ways, and the very first step is to say, can I put the proposition forward in a way that the reader will not immediately reject? Because if they reject your proposition without even reading any further, you've already lost your argument. And so think of the way in which you're putting forward the proposition. Is it going to be something the reader might say, and you hope they will say, oh yeah, well, that doesn't sound too bad, now persuade me a bit more. Okay, propositions cannot be immediately rejected by readers or you've lost your argument at that point. The second element of putting forward a good persuasive document is that the evidence that you use, the evidence that you present, must be powerful for that particular proposition. And there's two aspects to the evidence to keep in mind. The first is that evidence relevant to the proposition? It's easy to put forward evidence, oh that sounds effective, that sounds good, yeah stick that in, oh that sounds nice, put that in. But in the final analysis, often that evidence isn't even relevant to the proposition, and so it's worse than useless because it distracts the reader away from the key points that you're trying to make. The second aspect of the evidence that you're putting forward is it persuasive? Is it persuasive for the particular audience that you're writing for? Now, let's backpedal. The proposition has to be of the type that is not going to be immediately rejected by the audience. Secondly, the evidence that you put forward for that proposition must be all relevant to that particular proposition. And thirdly, the evidence that you put forward for that proposition must be persuasive for the particular audience you're writing for. Effective proposition, relevant evidence, persuasive evidence. Now, they apply whether you're inviting people to come to a meeting, which is voluntary, all right, those three aspects. They apply if you are writing a tender submission for a $100 million contract. The same fundamentals apply in any persuasive document. Thank you.